Good morning. We want to call the meeting to order. I want to thank all of those who are here for this hopefully brief budget hearing. The purpose of this meeting is to advance the bills to the floor so that we can close out budget cleanup issues. The package today before us includes 5 bills that have been amended to reflect the cleanup items and a couple of items like civil service reform that we deferred to after June 15th to allow for more discussion and input from stakeholders. We're advancing 4 bills that have not been amended at this time. But we know that we will need to have them available for unresolved issues, principally to implement whatever cap and trade agreements we reach by the 2 houses and the administration. I know a lot of you don't like surprises in the language, and neither do I. If there are substantial amendments to any of these bills on the floor later in the process, it is my intent to have them referred back to this committee so that we can hear them. So I don't want us to be shocked or blindsided by any item, and I'll make sure that I stay in contact with my vice chair to do that. The staff tells me that what is before us today is probably one of the smallest and most straightforward cleanup packages we've ever seen. And I think the fact that most of us spent a lot of time working on the budget and took the time at the end of the process to make sure that we read the bills and didn't make any mistakes, or very few mistakes that were there, that we have a very small package that's very straightforward in terms of amendments. I want to ask, as our process today is that we'll ask the Department of Finance, we have with us Mr. Justin Howell, to make a short presentation on each bill, followed by an opportunity for public comment and support or opposition and members' questions. And I propose that we vote after the presentation so that we can, when possible, substitute the roll to make the hearing as short as possible. We will do this in file order, beginning with SB 101. I'm not sure if the Vice Chair has any comments concerning the process. If not, we'll begin today with SB 101, and we'll ask the Department of Finance to introduce it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, fellow members of the committee. Is this on? Can you hear me?
I got you now.
All right, thank you. Justin Howard, Department of Finance. The first bill before you today is SB 101, and this bill makes some technical corrections to the Budget Act that was enacted back in June. Some of the provisions being corrected in the bill include an additional appropriation related to the Stanford Mansion to ensure ongoing operations can be maintained. And there's some additional appropriation related to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancies. There are some provisional language and reference items that are being corrected to ensure that funds can appropriately be spent out of these items. And they're all very high level, and we can be happy to answer any particular questions that you may have related to these items at this time.
I think we have a quorum. Could we call the roll?
Weber.
Here.
Melendez. Here. Allen. Here. Bigelow. Present. Bloom. Here. Bonta. Campos. Here. Chavez. Here. Chu. Here. Cooper. Gordon. Here. Grove. Here. Jones. Good morning. Jones Sawyer. Kim. Here. Lackey. Here. McCarty. Here. Mullen. Nazarian. Obernolte. Here. O'Donnell. Patterson. Rodriguez. Thurman. Ting. Here. Wilk. Present. Williams. Here.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. Is there any support for this bill, SB 101? Is there any testimony in opposition? Any comments or questions from the members? You want to vote now or vote afterwards? Okay, either way. It's been moved. Is there a second? Okay. Call the roll.
Weber.
Aye.
Melendez. Allen. Bigelow. Bloom. Bonta. Campos. Chavez. Chu. Cooper. Gordon. Grove. Jones. Jones Sawyer. Kim. Lackey. McCarty. Mullen. Nazarian. Obernolte. O'Donnell. Patterson. Rodriguez. Thurman. Ting. Wilk.
No.
Williams. Ayes 19, noes 1.
Okay, it passes. We'll leave the roll open for those who are not here. SB 102, could we have a presentation from Department of Finance?
Yes, thank you. The next bill before you is SB 102. This is the general government trailer bill cleanup. Some of the more substantive things in this bill includes a change related to commissioner salary rates at the Board of Parole hearings that allows the Department of Human Resources to raise the salary rates similar in the manner that they do with other boards throughout the state. There's some CalPERS reporting language cleanup, moving the date, and some additional federal fund authority related to the prior fiscal years for the fish and wildlife. And be happy to answer any questions that any member may have regarding this measure.
Okay. Is there any testimony in support? Any public testimony in opposition? Any questions from members? Yes.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. It refers to technical cleanup language to the brace and bolts program, and Mr. Nazarian and I had some prior budget trail language that dealt with it. I just want to understand what that is about.
Sure. So the trailer bill is needed to make two corrections identified by the Franchise Tax Board. It corrects a conflict in the definition of qualified multifamily structures between the insurance code and the rev and tax code. The change will allow for the exclusion of the grants from taxable income. The budget assumed all taxpayers who received the grant would not be taxed on that grant income. So, and the second thing it does is it removes loan from the items that may be excluded to avoid taxpayer confusion, as loans are never considered to be income.
Could I ask for that language? I'll support it today. I just want to be able to review that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any input, Ms. Melendez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this bill is fine with the exception of the fact that it's extending the opportunity to not go through the bidding process. And I don't know that that's such a good idea. We already, 2014, the press covered the fact that there was some impropriety taking place with Covered California's Executive Director, Peter Lee, in awarding contracts that to people and businesses that he may have had a previous relationship with. So it's my understanding that not going through the bidding process in the beginning was necessary in order to get the program up and running. But at the point we're at now in 2015, I don't know that that's necessary. So I would ask for a no vote on this bill. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay.
One question.
Yes.
I'd like an answer to that. Why is it not competitive?
Department of Finance.
Good morning, members. Mayor Kasek from the Department of Finance. This bill is this section is a correction to the drafting error that was in the SB 75. And right now what we're proposing, which is consistent to what was in SB 75, is that Covered California will create a contracting manual similar to the process adopted by the Department of General Services, which will have to be vetted through their stakeholders, through their board. And so even though this section will exempt them from the requirements of this specific section of the Public Contract Code, there would still be transparency.
So they're in the process of developing a contracting procedure?
It's a contracting manual similar to what the Department of General Services has right now.
So they're developing how they're going to do contracts, their process?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So since we have a general service contracting procedure, why are they not competitively bidding it? Because you don't have a process?
When Covered California, when the Health Benefit Exchange, Covered California was created, in their enabling statute, they were exempted from the provisions from the oversight of Department of General Services, and that's to allow the entity to have more flexibility. However, and they can also adapt rules through emergency regulation on how they does business. However, when those emergency regulations expire, they will have to adopt their processes through the rulemaking process, which would take longer. So this section, what it would do is that they would instead have to adopt processes through the contracting manual, similar to what the Department of General Services does. So they were never under the Department of General Services oversight.
But as the Department of Finance overseeing funding, are you comfortable with spending state funds without a competitive bid process?
Like we mentioned, because they will be adopting the contracting manual, it would actually adopt more transparency on how they do contracts, because the contracting manual will have to be vetted through their stakeholders. And as they
I understand we're doing the manual, but the manual won't be in place till when?
I'm sorry.
When will the manual be finished, their procedure they're going to establish to do bidding?
They are in the process of developing the manual.
When do you anticipate it will be done?
The Covered California has not provided a date of completion
Okay, so
yet.
now that we've established that Covered California does not have a contracting procedure to go ahead and contract, now as you as the Department of Finance, are you telling the legislative body that you're comfortable with spending state funds without a competitive bid process? That's a question. It's yes or no. Yes or no?
The department supports the language as being proposed in this measure. The finance works closely with Covered California and our Health and Human Services Agency, and we are comfortable with where they are at in their process, and we are hoping to complete the additional
yes.
review.
That's a yes. So you're comfortable with bidding, spending state funds without a competitive process?
We are comfortable with the process as being proposed, and that's currently in
Thank you,
statute.
sir.
Any, yes, Ms. Gaines. Tell me, Grove, excuse me.
Surely. Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to just elaborate on that, because I don't want to say I was satisfied with the answer, but it says that this agency is listed as a high-risk agency, meaning that the state auditor, has already labeled Covered California as a high-risk agency, which means it's higher for potential waste, fraud, and abuse. You got $184 million in contracts without a competitive bidding process. That's a significant amount of money for state dollars, taxpayer dollars. And so I just want to make sure that I understand that my nonpartisan Department of Finance is telling me that they're comfortable with accepting this language that says it will not have a competitive bidding process. It won't go out to a competitive bidding process, especially because the state auditor said that it's a high-risk agency. And that's what you're telling us. You're okay with it not going out to bid at $184 million. That is not going to be competitively bid.
Existing law already puts in place the mechanisms for which Covered California can operate.
I just really want a yes or a no. I'm asking you as a state representative representing the 34th Assembly District, I'm asking my Department of Finance, are you comfortable with sending out $184 million of taxpayer dollars without it going to competitive bid? I'm asking your wisdom and direction. And I'm just asking for a yes or no answer.
And my response is Covered California, under existing law, already has the authority to do what they're currently doing. We're comfortable with the language as being proposed. We work very closely with the department to ensure that things are being run in a transparent manner and that there's appropriate oversight.
Are there any other questions and substantive questions with regards to the recommendation? If not, is there a motion? It's been moved as second. Okay. Please call the roll.
Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye. Melendez? No. Melendez, no. Allen? No. Allen, no. Bigelow? No. Bigelow, no. Bloom? Aye. Bloom, aye. Bonta? Aye. Bonta, aye. Campos? Aye. Campos, aye. Chavez? No. Chavez, no. Chu? Aye. Chu, aye. Cooper? Gordon? Gordon, aye. Grove? Grove, no. Jones? No. Jones, no. Jones Sawyer? Aye. Jones Sawyer, aye. Kim? No. Kim, no. Lackey? No. Lackey, no. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Mullen? Aye. Mullen, aye. Nazarian? Obernolte? No. Obernolte, no. O'Donnell? Aye. O'Donnell, aye. Patterson? No. Patterson, no. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Thurman? Ting? Aye. Ting, aye. Wilk? No. Wilk, no. Williams? Williams, aye. Ayes 13, noes 11.
Okay. I think that motion passes. I believe, no, we need 14, so we'll keep it open so that will be held open. Okay. Thank you very much. We're now moving on to SB 103, Department of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 103 is the education cleanup trailer bill. It includes adjustments to the middle class scholarship program. It includes changes in the process of timing of a report for the CSU Doctor of Nursing Practice Degree pilot program. It requires the Office of Planning and Research to conduct an eligibility study to determine whether the UC and CSU are admitting a sufficient number of California students to meet admission goals set by the Master Plan for Higher Education. It adjusts federal and state funds for child care programs. Specifically, the bill will adjust $50.8 million in federal funds with $50.8 million general fund from the alternative payments and CalWORK Stage 3 programs. And it makes other changes as well, and we'd be happy to answer any questions related to this bill.
Okay. Is there any support? Any comments from the public in support? Opposition? Any comments from members? Yes, Mr. Jones.
Thank you. With the funding formula, will some school districts receive less funding because of this allocation change?
For which?
Well, I think the concern is if you're taking into student ratios, that some of the smaller school districts are going to receive less funding as a result of the new formula. Is this?
Yeah, this
for
is
item number 3, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I may have my notes wrong then. All right, thanks.
Okay. Any other comments? Questions? Is there a motion? It's moved. And second? Okay. Roll call.
Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye. Melendez? Melendez, aye. Allen? No. Allen, no. Bigelow? No. Bigelow, no. Bloom? Aye. Bloom, aye. Bonta? Aye. Bonta, aye. Campos? Aye. Campos, aye. Chavez? Aye. Chavez, aye. Chu? Aye. Chu, aye. Cooper?
Aye.
Cooper, aye. Gordon? Aye. Gordon, aye. Grove? No. Grove, no. Jones? No. Jones, no. Jones Sawyer? Aye. Jones Sawyer, aye. Kim? Aye. Kim, aye. Lackey? No. Lackey, no. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Mullen?
Aye.
Mullen, aye. Nazarian? Aye. Nazarian, aye. Obernolte? Aye. Obernolte, aye. O'Donnell? Aye. O'Donnell, aye. Patterson? Aye. Patterson, no. Rodriguez? Aye. Rodriguez, aye. Thurman? Ting? Aye. Ting, aye. Wilk? Aye. Wilk, aye. Williams? Aye. Williams, aye. Ayes 20, noes 6.
Okay, that passes, and we'll hold the roll over. SB 99, Department of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 99 is the civil service trailer bill. So this bill originally was presented in May, revised, and was held open for further discussion, including discussions with our partners in labor. The bill includes amendments to standardize the hiring certification lists for rank and file and managers and supervisors within all departments. And the bill also broadens the CEA appointment eligibility to non-civil service individuals, basically the private sector. One thing that we are doing with this bill is there is an amendment that we are making on the basis of our discussion with our partners in labor. And that particular amendment, specifically what it does is it opens up for those individuals who apply for a CEA who are from the outside the private sector and are subsequently removed through having their CEA being terminated. It gives them an opportunity to apply for an open exam within the department that they were working within, and it also allows them to use their time within the CEA as qualifying time for determining whether or not they meet the minimum qualifications, knowledge, and skills and abilities for that job. So this is an amendment that was worked on late yesterday afternoon at the request between us and our partners in labor, and we're including that here. The last thing in this bill is also an appropriation that is provided to the Department of Finance so that we can provide increased transparency. And specifically, what we're going to do is be posting online for the public and everyone to see is all the approved budget change proposals that come through here through this body for review, and so the public can have access to it, and so can legislative members and their staff, and it'll be on our website in a searchable format.
Okay. Any testimony in support? Give us your name.
Mario Guerrero with SEIU Local 1000. We are now neutral with the language. We just wanted to express our thanks to the administration for working with us on our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any testimony in opposition? Okay. Any comments or questions from the members? Yes, Mr. Obernolte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was very happy to see the Department of Finance include in this bill the language about the budget change proposal posting online. As you know, I've got some legislation in the Senate on this, so it makes me very happy to hear that. So you've got a small appropriation in this bill to support those efforts of $300,000, and I understand that that goes for industrial scanners. Is that right?
David Munoz, Department of Finance. The $300,000 is primarily for programming of our information technology system so we can put these budget change proposals online in a user-friendly format that is searchable. So primarily the program costs.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad you said searchable. So I just want to make sure that our intent is not merely to scan the paper documents, but the intent is to post the electronic documents online so that they're searchable and indexable.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions from the dais? Comments? Could I have a motion? It's been moved. Second. Okay. Roll call.
Weber.
Aye.
Weber, aye. Melendez. Melendez, aye. Allen. Allen, aye. Bigelow. Bigelow, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Bonta. Bonta, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chavez. Chavez, aye. Chu. Chu, aye. Cooper. Cooper, aye. Gordon. Gordon, aye. Grove. Grove, aye. Jones. Jones, aye. Jones Sawyer. Jones Sawyer, aye. Kim. Kim, aye. Lackey. Lackey, aye. McCarty. McCarty, aye. Mullen. Mullen, aye. Nazarian. Nazarian, aye. Obernolte. Obernolte, aye. O'Donnell. O'Donnell, aye. Patterson. Patterson, aye. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, aye. Thurman. Ting. Ting, aye. Wilk. Wilk, aye. Williams. Williams, aye. 26 ayes, 0 no.
Okay, fine. Thank you. That passes. We'll hold it open for those who are not here. SB 104, Department of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 104, what this would do would allow the California State University system to invest some of their funds into a broader array of investment options, similar to what is allowable currently at the UC system. What if, upon earning higher returns, this money would be allowed to be used for capital outlay and other infrastructure type projects. There is protections in there to the extent that if they don't earn money or there's a loss, that cannot be passed on to students. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions? Any testimony in support? Testimony in opposition? Questions from the dais? Got a motion for SB 104? So moved and second. Okay, roll call.
Weber.
Aye.
Weber, aye. Melendez. Melendez, aye. Allen. Allen, aye. Bigelow. Bigelow, aye. Bloom. Bloom, aye. Bonta. Bonta, aye. Campos. Campos, aye. Chavez. Chavez, aye. Chu. Chu, aye. Cooper. Cooper, aye. Gordon. Gordon, aye. Grove. Grove, aye. Jones. Jones, aye. Jones Sawyer. Jones Sawyer, aye. Kim. Kim, aye. Lackey. Lackey, aye. McCarty. McCarty, aye. Mullen. Mullen, aye. Nazarian. Nazarian, aye. Obernolte. Obernolte, I. O'Donnell. O'Donnell, I. Patterson. Patterson, I. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, I. Thurman. Ting. Ting, I. Wilk. Wilk, I. Williams. Williams, I. Ayes 26, no 0.
Okay, fine. The passes. Will hold it open for those that are not here. The next four bills, SB 91, 105, 106, and 107, are actually bills that are at this time don't have content in them, but they're bills we need in order to be able to move them to the floor at this time. I don't know if you probably don't have any comments on it. I would imagine.
No, the
I didn't
administration
think
has
so.
no position
Okay,
on this.
exactly. So this SB 91, 105, 106, and 107. As I mentioned before, these bills will come back to us, but in order with content, in order to move them to the floor, we need to pass these bills at this time. I'm not sure if there are any comments from the audience concerning this. Okay. Are there any comments from the dais?
I'll move the items.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? SB, we're taking 91, 105, 106, and 107 together. Okay, roll call.
Weber.
First of all, is there anyone who want to divide them up? I didn't think so. Okay, very good. Let's take them all at once. Mm-hmm.
Weber.
Aye.
Weber, I. Melendez. No. Melendez, no. Allen.
No.
Allen, no. Bigelow. No. Bigelow, no. Bloom.
Aye.
Bloom, I. Bonta. Bonta, I. Campos. Campos, I. Chavez.
No.
Chavez, no. Chu. Chu, I. Cooper.
Aye.
Cooper, I. Gordon. Gordon, I. Grove. Grove, no. Jones.
No.
Jones, no. Jones Sawyer.
Yeah.
Jones Sawyer, I. Kim. Kim, no. Lackey. Lackey, no. McCarty. McCarty, I. Mullen.
Aye.
Mullen, I. Nazarian.
Nazarian.
Nazarian, I. Obernolte. Obernolte, no. O'Donnell. O'Donnell, I. Patterson. Patterson, no. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, I. Thurman. Ting. Ting, I. Wilk. Williams. Williams, I. Ayes 15, noes 10.
Okay, that passes. We'll hold it open just in case there's some additional votes. We have a bill that's on call. 102 is on call. Could you call the roll for those who did not get who were not here at the time? SB 102.
Cooper.
Aye.
Cooper, I. Nazarian.
Aye.
Nazarian, I. Thurman. That's 15 ayes, 11 no.
Okay, that passes. There's maybe some others. I understand. There's 101. There's still some those who have not had a chance to vote. Okay, we'll go back through the roll. Start with 101 if you've already voted on all items. But if you have not, we will go back over the votes at this time. SB 101.
Bonta.
Bonta.
Bonta, I. Mullen. Mullen, I. Nazarian. Nazarian, I. Rodriguez.
Morning.
Rodriguez, I.
Thurman.
Cooper.
Aye.
Cooper, I. Ayes 24, noes 1.
Did you call O'Donnell?
O'Donnell, I. 25 ayes.
Okay. Hold up. 103. I understand there were some changes requested. They'll make some changes. Okay. Before you do the changes, hold up. We need to do 99. Are there anyone who did not vote on 99? Roll call 99 for those who did not get a chance to vote. Weren't here.
Thurman.
Thurman. Okay, so Thurman is an aye.
Thurman, I. Ayes 27, no 0.
Thank you. 104.
Thurman. Thurman, I.
Yes.
27 ayes, no 0.
Okay, and then the package of bills 91, 105, 106, and 107.
Thurman. Thurman, I. Ayes 15, noes 10.
No.
I'm sorry.
You skipped me the first time. I'm a no on that. You don't have me listed.
Apologies.
1611.
1611.
Okay, 1511. Okay. We have some who want to change their vote, so we'll announce those changes. Yes. It's just for 103, I believe. How many changes do we have? 3? And you won't change 101. Okay. You can go to the secretary to get those changed, and we'll get that done before we close out. Okay? Let's have all those for 103 that are making the change. I think there are two changes. Could you give us a count now on 103? There were changes made on 103 and 101.
For SB 103, ayes 20, noes 7.
Okay, and what about 101?
SB 101, ayes 25, noes 2.
Okay, I think that's it. What about, all right, thank you very much. Has everyone been added on who wants to add on? Okay. Good. Okay, I want to thank the committee, and all of these bills will be moved to the floor. Thank you very much.